All 2000s Broncos team, let's go. Starting off at quarterback, Jake Plummer had his moments in the early 2000s. Bo Nix is off to a great start to his career, but Peyton Manning had one MVP, multiple MVP caliber seasons, two Super Bowl appearances with a Super Bowl win. Peyton Manning, one of the all-time greats. He's going to make his first appearance. He's going to show up on a couple of these teams, as you can expect, though. At running back, his time in Denver was short-lived, but it was special. Clinton Portis is going to be our guy. Honorable mention probably would be C.J. Anderson, maybe Philip Lindsay, but I mean, C.J. Anderson never reached the peak of Philip Lindsay or Clinton Portis, and Philip Lindsay was awesome for 2 years and then was gone. So I don't really feel that guilty about putting Clinton Portis on here after just 2 seasons. Portis, another one of those forgotten 2000s running backs that deserves more Hall of Fame consideration. Probably won't ever get in, but at least needs to be a part of the conversation. Another guy who won't get in, but Hall very good, Demaryius Thomas. Rest in peace, DT. This dude was just tremendous. When I think of Demaryius Thomas, I always think of two things. One, the 2011 wild card game against the Steelers, where he just completely embarrasses Ike Taylor and Ryan Mundy on their way to completing the upset over the reigning runner-ups, because the year prior the Steelers lost to the Packers. And then I also think of him just being able to take a screen pass to the house without much effort. Dude was just the definition of an explosive wide receiver. And then we're going to go back to the early 2000s. Rod Smith, just one of the all-time greats. Another guy, Hall of very good, won't ever get into the Hall of Fame, especially when you look at the backlog at wide receivers. Guys like Hines Ward, Anquan Bolden, Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne. All those guys probably are going to take precedent over Rod Smith. But Rod Smith, Super Bowl champion, was tremendous. I don't really think of him too much in the 2000s, despite him being super productive in the 2000s. I think of him in the 90s with Ed McCaffrey and John Elway. But Rod Smith, our first two wide receiver spots, clear cut. I mean, you have to have Rod Smith. You have to have Demaryius Thomas. Our third spot, it gets a little bit cloudy. Brandon Lloyd led the league in receiving yards when he was a Bronco. Eric Decker had a good season. Cortland Sutton has been starting to stack up some numbers, but one of my all-time favorites ends up getting the third spot. And that's Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, he was productive everywhere he went, starting off in Pittsburgh, then Denver, which is where he made his name. San Francisco, he was even good with half a season with Debo. The Saints, he finished off in Buffalo and was good there. Emmanuel Sanders, he ends up getting the third wide receiver spot. Shannon Sharpe's going to be our tight end. Once again, most of his production came in the 90s. He did have a couple seasons in the 2000s with the Broncos. Took that year off in Baltimore. Actually won 3 straight Super Bowls, 2 back-to-back with Denver, and then 2